person might be able to give you the financial side with the books, but they're not necessarily privy to the criminal activity because they want to have some plausible deniability, so they don't know what's going on, right? Then someone else might be involved directly in the criminal activity where they may be transporting drugs, but they don't necessarily know how much is it. They don't know what it is, etc. Then you have someone else that's coordinating everything that knows, yeah, it was this and it was supposed to go to this individual. I don't know who the hell he is. Was supposed to go to this address. And then you go talk to that person at that address, and that person says, oh yeah, I was supposed to receive this X, Y. So the point I'm trying to make is that a lot of times with criminal activity, stuff is compartmentalized. Certain individuals,
okay,
certain parts of the conspiracy, and they do that on purpose so that if people are arrested, they have to interview more than one person to be able to get said information. So it's going to be multiple people that implicate Dirk in this, whether covertly or not. They might not know that the information they're providing is actually confirming, corroborating evidence that the FBI already got. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Wow. Trenches. What do you think? I feel like you have an ear to the streets. You've kind of like heard all this stuff. What are you thinking? Who the hell is co-conspirator 2? What do you think 4 is doing? You give me your thoughts. I know he's here somewhere. You're muted, Trenches. You're muted.
You get me?
Yep.
Alright, so we know 2 gonna be the one that sink the ship, but number 4 gonna stick everybody in there. Number 4 gonna stick everybody else. The people who he called, he gonna stick whoever he called. He's sticking him. So yeah, number two gonna take everybody down. Number 2 sound like he's around, they know everything about everybody. And then number two gonna sink the whole ship.
Now, here's the thing. We keep trying to figure out the other names. Like, some people think, oh, no, maybe 2 is OTF Jam. Some people are saying, nah, OTF Jam wasn't around then. Like, yeah, he cooperated on some other shit. But in this particular situation, remember, co-conspirator 2 is the shooter. So this got to be a shooter who the feds have spooked to the point to say, you're never getting out. If you ever want to see daylight again, you tell on everybody. But who the fuck could that be, though?
See, we really don't know who they is, man, because like some people I talk to from the streets who used to be with them. You know, like they saying like he picked up some creative players, man. He just went out and hired some motherfuckers, man.
Whoa, wait, explain. What do you mean? So you're saying that Dirk just got a random assortment of people. There wasn't people he's locked in with from like day one that he trusts?
Man, all them damn killers you be seeing in them videos back, you been dead. The war in Iraq. You won't see none of them up in the video, up in the trial. You don't see none of them at night.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of people locked up, a lot of people died. You can't expect.
It's a lot of people wild though, act. Like, don't nobody know half of the other dudes. The one dude we know Bonnie, and we know Didi. Besides that, we don't know none of them.
Keep in mind that he hired 2 people that weren't even PDs, that weren't a part of his gang.
Yeah, the other guys, 2 of them from out west, one from Indiana, clear Indiana. Like they just put shit together, man. They got Dirk wrapped up.
And they probably did that on purpose to create some level of plausible deniability. Typically, if you're gonna do a murder for hire, you don't want people out there doing it, and you don't want them to know who's hiring them, and you have an intermediary facilitate everything. Glenn is an idiot because he didn't properly shield these transactions. They're using private jets, they're using luxury cars, doing drills of luxury. That's where they fucked up because, hey, where's the people in the middle to facilitate everything has got to do it in a way where it doesn't tie back to you.
Hey, Myron.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound stupid. And I'm like feedback. What's that? I think that's for me. Here's a question I do want to ask you. I'm never ever sitting here trying to give criminals a fucking cheat code on how to commit crime successfully. But these days we're in the time of realizing that in the Fulio case, there was a goddamn Tesla that recorded the entire murder. It feels like it's almost impossible to do a crime at this point. Again, we're not trying to give nobody a tutorial, but as we kind of dissect this, is there a way that this could have happened that maybe Dirk wouldn't have to be trying to board a private jet to Switzerland before he gets picked up by the feds?
I'm gonna try to fix my mic real quick, and then I'll definitely I can answer that.
Trent, you can hop in while we're doing it.
Yeah, it sound like you can pretty
Huh?
sound like you better. Your phone going down.
Wait, no, say again? You sound like what? Trent, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
I
Yeah.
So what you were saying again? It was echoing.
Oh, my bad. No, yeah. I think
That's Myron mic echoing.
Yeah. If it's echoing still, just like serve me until he fixes it. So, what I was saying, Trenches, is that I feel like a lot of times we sit back and we criticize these dudes. We don't understand that these guys are in the streets. And we'd be like, yo, you were trying to leave to this, blah, blah. Oh, you had to book shit on your business card. Do you think there was a way that this could happen? I'm not saying I want it to happen, that it's undetectable, but do you think there was a way that this could have happened where Dirk is not caught up in this shit? Because everybody we're pointing out the dumb shit that was done. But is there a way that this could have been done where, because everyone's like, oh no, you even said, yo, he got the $2 guys around him. Even if he had the $1 million guys around him, do you think that this shit could have been undetectable?
I mean, if Dirk said this shit after Bond died, that he wanted Quando killed, right? Dirk should never had to say nothing else. He should have to text nobody. He should have to did nothing. Why y'all even call the Dirk to tell him that y'all spot Ron doing some shit like that? And that's crazy.
Oh, so you're saying that this shit was fucked up from the beginning because they were involving the big fish and letting him know the every move of what the get back is gonna be.
Yeah, man, that's what the conspiracy kick in at. Dirk fuck academics, I ain't gonna lie, man. I listen to Lil Dirk too. I listen to Lil music. Like, I ain't got nothing against him, man, besides he's been touring with Doug, and they've been touring with each other for bullshit, bro. Oh, some dirty ass hoes. And who got the best clothes, man? That's all I have to see in the critical ball.
Oh my God, man. And I'm asking you sincerely, do you think that there is any? Do you think it's any? Do you think it's any world where Dirk comes out of this without like a life sentence or like significant time?
Yeah, he probably could get 50 if he gotta go in there and tell everything, the road, his car, and everything.
You say he could get 15? You think he could get 15 years?
Yeah, 50 years. They gonna offer them 50 years. That's like they did. They gonna offer them 50 years the first offer.
50 or 15? 50 or 15?
50. 5-0.
5-0? Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah. I don't use airplanes. Man, I'm telling you, man, this shit ain't no joke. This shit ain't no 15 years. None of that, man. They gone. When Dirk get out, man, if he do get out, he gonna be on the cane.
Yo, my nigga, I'm waiting for the Voice 2.0. I'm waiting for the album. What are you talking about?
Hey, you can wait on it, man. I'm telling you, that nigga gonna come out on the cane, man. They not playing. He trying to run, and that's some old shit. Like, for real. And then you know how long they been wanting him? Like, all the shit that he done beat, and he ain't know how to sit the fuck down. They beat that shit with King Von, man. He's supposed to kill everything. So everybody back to Chicago and went about his life, bro. That was a red flag right there. Got to King Von them, and the state said, "Oh man, it's over with. We just throwing this out." Like, come on, man. Y'all think y'all supposed to man, the feds pick that shit up. The feds told the state, "Hey, don't worry about it. We're gonna pick that shit up."
I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's over. Telling the feds pick that shit up.
Yo,
They boys out.
I'm not jacking that they not trying to have the voice on the streets on the streets. The voice of the streets got to be on the streets. Like, the voice of the streets can't be in prison.
Man, I hate to tell you the Breaking Bad scene, man. The voice is deep shit. And whoever is Bo and who is, hey, it's already sound like they won't know. Right? They won't know. And number two, no, Dirk is. Number four from California, so he really know him, but number two sound like he been in the mix. He been in the mix for all the shit, so he know everybody. So he Incredible is one. I don't know. I know Diddy ain't snitching. Diddy just be too much. He gonna sit in that motherfucker till the walls fall off.
Oh, you think OTF Diddy is gonna be solid?
He gonna be solid. He gonna sit in that motherfucker till the walls fall off. I'm telling you, watch it play out. He gonna be like, if everybody falls, he ain't.
What about Kevon Grant? That's OTF Vonnie. I think he's solid too.
See, I really don't know him. I think him around the line now. You know what I'm talking about? Like, shit. Like, I really don't know about him, but you gotta be somebody that to have a damn step guard. You gotta be somebody to be able to swipe OTF credit card, man. It's a private jet on OTF expense. You gotta be somebody.
Wow. Jesus. Hey, you know, Dirk got about like 7 or 8 kids. You know, he got a baby mama, this and third. Man, I know they're going through it. Do you feel bad for him on that realm or no?
Hell yeah, I feel bad for the white man and his kids, bro. They shouldn't have to go through this, bro. Especially when I love that. That's the whole dude to get out of the fucking hood. You get out, you make your money and get out the hood, take your family out to live. You don't get out the hood to pull up a bunch of fellas committed murders and shit. Like, if them your homies, bro, they'll understand why you leaving for the better, bro. If they complain, them ain't your real friend, bro. How many niggas we seen come at different blocks over the last since you've been going about the Chirac? Right?
Yeah. No.
He ain't been on every block. He get into it with this block, he going over that block. If he get into it with them, he going over that. Now they into it. Every block that he been on, they cool with each other.
Hey, yeah, isn't OTF Vonnie supposed to have been Von's manager or family of some sorts?
Yeah. Now, I think he's gonna remain solid. But I'm gonna be honest with you. This is what I personally think. Yo, when y'all start doing crime, you're asking for a RICO when you got too many chefs in the kitchen. If you finna do a murder, let me tell you this. I have the understanding, and I could never understand the pain. Well, I'm trying to have the understanding, but I could never understand the pain that Dirk is going through when he probably thinking about somebody who killed his brother. I'm never gonna be like, oh, no, you're rich as fuck. Who cares if they kill you? I'm never gonna say that. But what we do have to acknowledge, when you got so big that you gotta hit up somebody else to book flights, or you can't tell your hitters to book their own flight and you pay them back, and you gotta have your assistant do it, and they all gotta use your credit card, and niggas gotta fly private jet, you're too big to be doing crime. I do wholeheartedly think that. Bro, this whole thing sounds like, there's no commercial. Listen, put like this. If you ever gonna do something dumb, don't invite nobody with you that nobody can tell on you. Don't tell nobody about the plan. Go do your crash out mission on your lonely. That hopefully if you ain't caught on surveillance, they ain't catch you with some stop sign camera, license plate reader, they ain't catch you in the car, they ain't catch you with the Easy Pass going through whatever. At least you can't say the nigga sitting right next to me who was blowing at whoever, he the one who told on me. The moment you bring somebody else, that's a problem. The problem I have with this is York had, allegedly, they had the person who was booking flights and car service to book shit for the murder. That don't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It don't make sense to me though, with dirt. If that's dirt, the spirit I'm going, which I know, which we all know it is. But him to ask somebody, hey, look, don't put that shit in my name. To link back to me, I think number 3, whoever the fuck that, I think they did it on purpose. I ain't gonna lie, boy, they was hot.
Yo, no, hold on. Here's the thing. When you say don't put it in my name, that person don't know that you're talking about murder shit. So, yeah, when it mean not in your name, it might not be connected to your name, but it's your account. It's your account. Now, if they was locked in with you with the murder, you know what they would have said? Alright, I'm gonna put it on my girl's credit card because my girl credit card gonna put a separation between me working for you and I could just say that's my girl who booked that. But this person clearly, that's what I'm saying. Yo, you can't have car service for your hitmen. You can't be booking checked-in luggage for your killers. Yo, you can't be booking the motherfucking lounge. I don't know if y'all ever been first class or whatever. They got the little lounge. You can't do it for the shooters. You gotta tell the shooters should only talk to you in person. And it should be a head nod. Well, I don't do crime, so even if what I'm telling y'all might still get y'all caught. If you gotta book their flights, if they gotta send you their, it said that the shooters sent a picture of their goddamn license to co-conspirator 3. Once I send you a picture of my license, I'm not doing the murder. No, I'm not doing the murder. Book me under somebody else's name. Put another picture. Sneak me onto the plane. Because this whole time, I got my baby mama who I gave 4 kids to. She's going to say I never left. I'm going to be with her. I'm going to at least have an alibi. You're going to just have me show up with... This shit is...
Why not just drive?
I would have rather drive from New Jersey to California. Alright, yo, is Quando gonna be there in 3 days? Because it's gonna take me 3 days to get there. I'm not getting on the plane. Matter of fact, I'm also changing cars at different places, different license plates. I'm not booking a rental car.
Using cash.
Yeah, and I'm not booking a rental car either. By the way, I'm not using no car that is past 2010 because, especially if it's a rental car, they're tracking the GPS in case some fuck nigga tries to steal it. We're not doing that. Matter of fact, I might have to take public transportation. I got a hat on the whole time. I'm shiesty up, and I got to figure out how to get to LA through buses, trains, and goddamn cabs. Does that make sense? I mean, like, they said they caught Dirk after they found out Dirk booked a private jet out the country. Nigga, you know how them Mexicans be sneaking into the United States? Nigga, I would be in your engine block like this when I'm trying to get out. I'm not booking a private jet. Fuck luggage. If I think I'm in Lil Durk position, you're gonna catch me in the engine block. You're gonna catch me like, nigga, I might be in the door panel like this. You're gonna catch me in the trunk beneath the shit where the spare tire should be. What I won't be is motherfucking got my feet crossed talking about where's the caviar and where's the air hostess and when are we taking off because I'm on the private jet. Hell no to the no, hell no. This didn't feel like there was no other options. Unfortunately,
telling you, DraftKings is the best place to bet player props.
First bucket, points, blocks.
Steals.
Stop. What are you doing, Lisa? Stop.
New customers turn $5 into 200 instantly in bonus bets. The ground is yours.
I'm going home.
Kevin.
Kevin!
You know how Operation Cobalt happened at the beginning of The Walking Dead? The famous operation we heard about at the beginning of the main show in Fear the Walking Dead. Yeah, how did the government act at the beginning of the outbreak? What was the strategy? What were the stages of this operation? Well, in this video I will explain everything we know so far about the Operation Cobalt, and if you want to know, stay here and let's go. Hello everyone who watching this beautiful channel, my name is João Victor and I'm back to talk about The Walking Dead universe again, because you have really enjoyed the previous videos explaining everything, the stories and more. So thank you for the feedback, and as I promised, I'm bringing you the explanation about this operation. I already talked about the military, the theories about how they were destroyed, but I didn't talk all the details about this Operation Cobalt. There are many things that are not clear about that. Yeah, but first don't forget to check the like in this video, it's very important, helps me a lot. And also if you like more content about The Walking Dead, don't forget to subscribe here. Thank you for your support, thank you for your patience with my English, let's go. Yeah, here's the point. Here in this channel, every time we talk about the beginning of the apocalypse on The Walking Dead, it's inevitable that we show images like this. Cities being devastated, blown up, with bomb attacks, which is what happened mainly there in Atlanta and Los Angeles in The Walking Dead universe. We also, from the other shows like The Ones Who Leave, we know that there are many other cities. But yeah, this is part of the Operation Cobalt, and also there's more. So let's go. How did I get to this point? Right away the zombie outbreak started, they bombed everyone. No, it wasn't quite that. There were several things that happened before that I need to explain here. Yeah, in this case we have a photo showing some document of several ones that have appeared on The Walking Dead show. And it includes the main show, the spin-offs, the web episodes. Especially this document shows a little about the orders that the military received. There's details, pieces, frames, photos, which even had some revelations of the production. Also there were some pictures came from the marketing of The Walking Dead, from Instagram, Facebook, revealing a lot of these strategy documents. And yeah, through these images, documents, and lines that we have in the various shows of The Walking Dead, we can understand what was the step-by-step of what happened. So let's make it simple in this video. Let's start with the first point, Day Zero, the beginning of the zombie outbreak, the entire population, the city being taken over by zombies. What happened there? What was the first stage? From there, the government realized the serious situation, realized that everything was bad, and activated the Operation Cobalt, which was already a project which had been prepared there since before, as well as countries like United States in real life. Everyone knows that in real life there are some covert extreme operations for situations like that. Yeah, so the first step was to choose the safe areas, which is something we see little more in Fear the Walking Dead. Within these safe areas, we also have the military bases, like the famous Fort Benning, which was a military base that they talked about so much in the first season after leaving Atlanta, mostly in the main show. Seeing that there was nothing left there in Atlanta, the CDC explosion, they see that it would be a good place to go. Yeah, this is one of the safe places, but also they choose some new safe areas on the outskirts of cities, peripheral zones, isolated city neighborhoods, with gates, with bars, with walls. We see more of that in the first season of Fear the Walking Dead. So with that, we have to go to the second step of this operation. From this, we have the assembly of the base and the creation of a medical facilities on this base. They cleaned up the region, prepared the places that needs it, and built these medical facilities. This happens before the population and survivors getting there. Yeah, all the military is still preparing the place. This was done in hours, obviously, but then we go to the third step, which then starts to get more critical, because we have the arrival of the people. With the arrival of the population, the survivors, methods are needed. Caution is necessary because they are dealing with this disease, an infection that is not yet fully known what it is. In its first moment, it's not known how the person could have infected and all other things. So medical screening is required. So the step 3 of Operation Cobalt is the detention of the survivors for symptom assessment, for health assessment, to see if they have any symptoms of infection, if they have any situation that can show that the person can turn into a zombie. Yeah, we know that not all the places in the United States follow this 100%, but in Fear we can see one of those places. Like certainly in the regions around Atlanta, in the beginning this happened. If the survivors, the group from the camp of the first season. They got there from Fort Benning. Even if it was still standing, they would certainly go through this. They would be arrested, kept surrounded by bars, so that everyone could go through these tests, everyone go through this situation. In Fear in Los Angeles, we saw Strand, Nick, there like that. They passed through this situation. So, okay, from that, it was 3 steps. People are already there, survivors have already arrived. At least they are in a safe place. Like, he's arrested by the military, but he's safe. But then, what is the 4th step? Yeah, step 4 is the hardest thing for people to start facing. It's basically eliminate the infected and incinerate their bodies. Yeah, from the survivors who were trapped there, even if they are with the families and everything, with some hope, yeah, basically the rule is that they have to be exterminated. So the Operation Cobalt rule explains that they killed them for a humanitarian cause to prevent the rest of humanity to die. This is basically the justification, and this is the step 4 of Operation Cobalt. Yeah, until now it's very sinister, but there's more, much more. We move on because it continues with the population accept and established. Step 5 involves a resumption strategy. Start a strategy now to try to envision some recovery of the city. The strategy is always to try to expand the safe zone as much as possible, to expand the area until they recover the city. And expanding means the military getting out of the safe zone, clearing areas, killing some zombies, which for sure, if you think about it, most cases in large cities in the United States will take months for this to happen. Yeah, it was at this stage, stage 5, and the stage 6 that the things started to go bad. Most places, most safe areas started to go bad there. Basically, in this expansion project, the mission is to eliminate all zombies outside the safe zone. So the military themselves begin to die in the surrounding, outside the safe zones, and the zombies began to take more. The survivors themselves tried to do this, and the zombies took over the safe zone. It's literally an expansion strategy that goes bad for everyone, and it's bad there in Fear the Walking Dead too. And starting from that, the government, before the apocalypse, before the outbreak, knowing that in a situation like this, in the stage 5, this expansion strategy could go wrong, knowing about the risks, based on that, we have the last step of the Operation Cobalt. Something already warned the military before the outbreak. So be prepared for the contingency plan. Yeah, the bombs is part of the last phase of the Operation Cobalt, which is a phase like this. It will only do this if necessary. But in most of the cases, in most of the cities in the United States, in this universe of The Walking Dead, it were necessary. And based on that, you can ask, if there's a city in this universe that managed to survive, and did Operation Cobalt work there for the military? If it was through Operation Cobalt, we don't know so far. It's possible. But we have the Civic Republic of Philadelphia itself, which is the city that we see in The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Leave, Rick and Michonne's spin-off, the city that the CRM commands, the group that took Rick, a big city that has more than 200,000 people, even years after the outbreak, which has the military ramifications and is led by a military group. I won't give many spoilers about The Ones Who Leave, but there some things change about this military leadership. But there we go. In addition, we have 2 other points that was part of these 3 circles. The second one was the city of Omaha, which is seen in World Beyond, has hundreds thousands people and such, although Major General Bill orders to Civic Republic military to kill everyone, to destroy the city. But I have to say that the city managed to survive the beginning of the outbreak. Before this destruction, they were there. Probably the Operation Cobalt worked there. They did not need the last stage of bombing. And the third city that we have to mention here that is also part of this alliance with Civic Republic is Portland. Yeah, another fully walled city around, which probably has more than 100,000 people, which this Operation Cobalt must have worked there too, because they are still there. Even after The Ones Who Leave, they are still there. Okay, but in this video I said the cities that probably worked, but what about the ones that didn't? What was the contingency plan like? Because I just said the last stage was bombing. But it's not only that, it's not exactly that. The contingency plan has a few steps. There are 3 steps. Yeah, the first one, and that's where it's cruel, very cruel. Basically, the orders here is to exterminate all the individuals in the medical facilities, even if they are healthy. In this case, also the people who are in the safe areas, in the quarantine zone. The first order for the militaries in this contingency plan is to kill everyone there. And we see this order in Fear the Walking Dead. It's the same order that the military receives in the base there the first season. Obviously, some must have had the resistance. Several places must have had some different stories and results. Yeah, this is the first step of the contingency plan. And what is the second step? Yeah, in the second step, all units must withdraw during the night, so as not to cause panic in the rest of the civilian population. They killed the civilians who were there in their power, tried to leave as soon as possible at night without causing panic in others, such as those who were outside the contingency zone, who were during the city. Exactly, the military leave alone there. Totally, this contingency plan there is focused only on the survival of the military. It takes all the priority away from the civilians and focuses on them, the military. Yeah, I told you the second step according to this contingency plan. Let's go to the step 3. If they did the second step right, they were evacuated, and in the step 3, the infected zones will be bombed to destroy the zombies and stop the outbreak. Exactly, the bombs that we know from The Walking Dead. This is the contingency plan of Operation Cobalt. This is because everything did wrong. And yeah, in the future we probably get to know other places in this universe, especially cities in the United States, which managed to survive. It will be amazing to see the stories of how Operation Cobalt took place in those cities. That's why there are spin-offs. That's why there are Tales of the Walking Dead, the anthological show that the second season is already confirmed. And yeah, the main point is that the Operation Cobalt is only inside the United States. If you watch the Daryl spin-off, it takes place in France. There it was another story. There was probably another plan from the government that also didn't work. In fact, I highly recommend you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any reviews, any explanations about this universe of The Walking Dead. There will be another spin-offs, there will be another shows, another seasons from Daryl Dixon spin-off from Dead City. There will be more about Rick Grimes in the future, and I will be here to explain everything in this channel. Also, don't forget to check the like, it helps me a lot. Thank you for watching, I'll be back soon, and bye.
Nike, shoes, apparel, stories. Download now.
Initially led on to our group. Set mishaps. During Rick's iconic Season 5 speech in Alexandria, Michonne was due to pistol whip him in the back of the head in order to stop the speech. However, did you know that Denai Guerrera accidentally really did hit Andrew Lincoln, causing the back of his head to bleed? However, she still carried out the scene, and out of all of the takes, they used the one that she actually hit him in, because it was the best. Andrew Lincoln isn't faultless himself though, as he accidentally broke Jeffrey Dean Morgan's nose during the filming of Season 8. And then there's the worst moment in the show's history, which is the death of John Berkner. The stuntman fell 20 feet onto his head as he missed the mats and sadly died later in hospital. He was Dwight's stunt double, and Austin Amello stated it was the worst day of his life as he saw it unfold. May John Berkner rest in peace. The Red Machete. The machete with the red handle is one of the most iconic weapons in the whole Walking Dead. Rick uses this very weapon to brutally kill Gareth in the church. But did you know there is a whole backstory behind this weapon? So let's delve into the story of the Red Machete. We first see the Red Machete in the early days of the outbreak in the webisode Red Machete. It's located in a DIY store as a man tries to defend himself from a walker. He stabs it in the chest but is ultimately killed. And a girl called Mandy watches this event before her sister Alyssa and her father David catch up. After they take down the walker, they keep the machete, and this is where the weapon's journey starts. After this, David teaches Mandy how to use the weapon, but as the three go on a supply run for food, Alyssa is killed by a walker who grabs her by a hair. This is when David cuts Mandy's hair with the same machete and carves Mandy's name into the handle of the machete. Soon after, Mandy's father David is also bitten and dies, so now Mandy is left to fend for herself. After Mandy's house is broken into by looters, one of them, named Derek, takes the machete and wraps the weapon's handle in red tape, covering up Mandy's name engraved on the weapon. However, he is later killed by a walker, and the machete gets lodged inside the walker's chest. This is when we follow the journey of the walker for months, before it eventually gets killed by none other than the claimer Joe. And Joe actually uses this as his weapon of choice until we see Joe put the machete in the bag and pull out a gun. And the next scene is the infamous scene of the claimers attacking Rick, Carl and Michonne, eventually leading to Rick biting out Joe's throat. After the death of Joe, this is when Rick gets his hand on the weapon and he uses it for several weeks, even killing Gareth with it. However, after the group's arrival in Alexandria, the weapon is placed in the armory, and this is where it remains for around a season until the Saviors take all the weapons from Alexandria. A Savior named Gerald takes the machete, and he eventually decides to flee from the Saviors. However, shortly after, we see Gerald get shot off screen, and the machete gets lodged in the ground, where it stands for years. Until one day, none other than Mandy comes across the weapon. She picks it up, removing the tape, finding out it's the weapon that she owned right at the start of the outbreak. She removes the tape from the handle and heads towards her sister and father's grave, where she leaves the machete planted in the ground to honour her sister and father. However, right at the end of the webisode, we see the machete get picked up by an unseen person. So who picks up the machete? Well, some people believe that it was Lydia, who later hands the weapon to Alpha, as she can be seen wielding a machete in Season 10. However, in my opinion, this is a bit far-fetched, as the machete she has doesn't really resemble this one at all. And plus, in her Tales episode, I reckon they would have given us the Easter egg of either her or Lydia taking it. So who do I think took the machete? Well, I'm not entirely sure, but I do think we will find out soon, as they are currently filming more Tales of the Walking Dead, which is essentially Season 2 of Tales. And we all know that recently the Walking Dead universe has become a sucker for fan service. Rick cutting off his hand like in the comics, Troy coming back for Season 8 of Fear. I reckon we will get an episode dedicated to the person that took this machete at the end of the webisode. However, that was the fascinating backstory to one of the most iconic weapons in the Walking Dead universe.
Smartsheet helps propel McLaren Formula 1 cars to the starting line. Thousands of individual parts moving from idea to reality.
In every single race, pursue our peak potential. Our people fuel that pursuit.
Our technical and operations teams collaborate in Smartsheet to get the car to the track. We don't focus on results, we focus on what leads to results. With Smartsheet supporting our operations, the results will come.
We're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 per month, even with a single line forever.
Proctor John. Proctor John was the leader of a violent motorcycle gang pre-apocalypse who roamed around Southern California. We meet this character in Season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead, and he is a villain who plans to run trade routes from Mexico to Texas. He is also the leader of the El Bazar trading post, and is a menacing and cruel man who will stop at nothing to get his way. After his plans of dominating trade routes from America to Mexico is ruined by a heroic Nick Clark who blows up a dam in order to save his family, whilst also dropping one of the hardest lines in the whole of Fear the Walking Dead, which I will play for you now.
I'm not negotiating, John. This is my suicide note.
But another fun fact about the dam explosion is it happened the exact same day as the CDC blew up in the main show. But anyway, back to Proctor John. Proctor John was due to be a big part of Fear's story as a villain. However, after the firing of Dave Erickson, this storyline was abandoned. However, if Fear's rebranding never happened, I reckon the character's storyline would have gone something like this. After the explosion of the dam, Proctor John and his men would rush away to safety quickly. However, they would have a new set goal of killing every single member of the Clark family from ruining their plans. Nick gets separated from Alicia and Madison due to the explosion. and we see Proctor John attempt to hunt down Nick first. However, after several close calls, the slippery and cunning Nick manages to evade capture, but instead of giving up, he now focuses his search to Madison and Alicia, who he eventually captures and uses them to lure Nick out. An intense standoff would ensue, however Nick would once again gain the upper hand due to Strand, Tucker and Crazy Dog, eventually killing the villain. However, before his death, I reckon Proctor John would kill someone very crucial in the story. I reckon this would either be Alicia or Tucker, as this would help to further develop Madison into the original villain role she was meant to play. And with Proctor John now gone, I think Madison would have now assumed all of his assets and become the new leader, eventually getting power hungry, which would further cause tension between Nick and his mother, resulting in Ericsson's original plan of Nick eventually being forced to kill his own mother. However, the storyline I just suggested would happen over the course of a single season, that being season 4. Although this is me making an extremely rough prediction to what Proctor John's storyline could have looked like, it does make me sad to think of what Ericsson's fear could have become. There were so many stories left unfinished due to his departure, and Proctor John's is just one of these. And the actor who portrayed Proctor John, Ray McKinnon, did such a good job at making him feel so menacing and calculated. And having a season where a villain hunts down our characters would have made for some amazingly tense scenes. And it's such a shame that we never got to see the story of Proctor John play out. But with that being said, that brings an end to my Walking Dead iceberg. I would like to say a huge thank you to Ty Swell for coming on the channel and helping me out with this video. And if you guys think I left anything off this iceberg, please do let me know down below in the comments. I made this video due to popular request and it took a lot of time and research, so that's why it's the only video that will be coming out this week. So please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. I would like to thank everyone who suggested points for this video on my community page, and to channel member Roderick Hare for his Dr. Jenner suggestion. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Get your man, get your man, get your man, get corner, get the master. I got it, get the master. For sure.
Hello again, YouTube. This video is going to be a bit different to my previous Rings of Power videos in that I'm not chronologically analyzing any particular episode. I am instead going to cover areas that have been outside of the scope of my previous videos, revisit some moments from earlier episodes that have now been recontextualized, and I am going to provide something of a conclusion and give my final thoughts on the show. I will not be providing full references to all of my claims in this video because I have about 10 hours of references in my previous videos, which you can check out if you have not already. This video should mostly make sense without having seen the previous ones, but if you would like full context for everything I am about to cover, I strongly suggest starting from episode 1. Just in case you have not seen any of my previous videos, let me state that I am not drawing directly from Tolkien's books at any point. My objective is to critique Rings of Power as an independent piece of filmmaking and storytelling. If something I say is incorrect because it goes against something in Tolkien's books, I simply don't care because that is not my criteria for deconstructing this show. With that said, let me begin by making a couple of corrections where I think I may have got things wrong. The point of these videos was never simply to be a dunking contest, so I think it is probably good practice to acknowledge where I made some mistakes or was simply too harsh. In episode 6, I argued that Waldreg should not have been able to escape during the Númenórean cavalry charge. Given that the Númenóreans would have perceived him to be a peasant and they do not know that he is evil, this is actually quite possible. I still think it should have been shown, but I will rescind it as a criticism of the plausibility of the sequence of events. I also argued that Galadriel cannot have known that the volcano was part of any kind of evil plan. However, she did discover from the convenient spy who left a piece of paper in Númenor that Sauron planned to create a realm where evil would thrive, given what actually happens to the Southlands after the eruption, in that it decimates the entire region and creates a realm where evil can thrive rather than, acting like an actual volcanic eruption. I think it is plausible that Galadriel would have seen this as part of some kind of evil plan. There is still absolutely no way she could have known exactly how this happened, but I'm happy to accept that she considers the eruption to be part of a plan. And in episode 4, I argued that the whole Guildcrest scenario was flawed because I was assuming that it functioned as a means of proving a qualification, whereas it is entirely possible that it was more of a work permit. Pharazon giving Halbrand a work permit and him using it to get a job is coherent and does make sense. I also missed that in their final scene, Elendil was noticing the black flags and was unsure how he was going to tell Miriel that her father had died. There are also a couple of things I was unsure about but can now confirm. In episode 2, Bronwyn refers to Osterith as the Elven Tower, which suggests that it was built by the elves and not by Sauron. This means that the existence of the sword key dam mechanism is simply an unexplained mystery, particularly when the sword was forged supposedly by Sauron. Now then, there is also something I missed which I am very much excited to confirm for you now. In the very first scene with Arondir before he walks into the pub, Waldreg and the Cowgoo Man are discussing the poisoning.
Poison, more likely. Poison? By who?
Waldreg then attempts to give Arondir a report, avoiding mentioning the poisoning as he does not want him to know about it. Arondir then directly asks him about the poisoning.
And the poisoning? What poisoning? The one we were just discussing.
This is explicit confirmation from the show that Arondir has extremely good hearing because he was outside the tavern when they were discussing the poisoning. Whether or not he has truly supernatural hearing in the same way that he has supernatural vision is irrelevant, because all I needed was for the show to confirm that his hearing is anything other than awful, because now I can say with certainty that him being snuck up on 4 separate times during Season 1 is absolutely an error. So, with those corrections out of the way, let's get going with the final autopsy of Season 1.
Do you need to learn about AI if you don't work in tech? Will it help you in your career? The short answer is yes. It's likely that whatever career you're in will benefit from AI tools. Try it yourself. A great place to begin is the Google AI Essentials course.
1. Can we tell what was deliberate and what was not? This is an idea that entered my mind multiple times during the series because the writers seem to have this fascinating habit of depicting something which has what appear to be unintended consequences. I am going to explore a few of these now. So, in the opening scene, what the writers wanted to do was to show Galadriel as being an outsider who is better than the other kids, but doesn't really have any friends and is therefore not particularly happy. What actually happens, though, is that Galadriel was set up to be a violent asshole as a child, and yet is supposed to be a sympathetic character. Had she been depicted as overcoming this hot-headed, selfish and impulsive behavior as she grew into adolescence, then this would have worked far better. However, she continues to be an arsehole throughout the series and for the most part is consistently presented as someone with whom we are meant to sympathize. Additionally, we learn later in the episode that she considered her childhood to be an indescribably blissful time of pure joy, a perspective that she explicitly states not once but twice. And we quite clearly see this to not be the case, unless of course she considers beating other children into submission to be the best feeling imaginable, which although I can believe to be the case given what we know about this character, this is of course not the writer's intent because of how the other characters react to her. The one single time when Galadriel is acknowledged to be a disgusting psychopath is when she is interrogating Adar, and that perspective is very much short-lived. In the troll fight, what the writers wanted to do was depict Galadriel overcoming an obstacle that her soldiers were unable to overcome without her. The principal idea here is that she arrives heroically to save the day. This sequence also establishes the relative power levels of elves as well as Galadriel herself, and the scene uses a snow troll to do this, which has never been seen before. However, audience members will be very aware of the cave troll in the Fellowship of the Ring, which I assume is why the writers decided to have this happen. What actually happens in the scene, however, is Galadriel and Thondir arrive and see the other elves being annihilated by the troll. Then they wait around for about 10 seconds before doing anything, and then Thondir catapults Galadriel at the troll with his sword, and she single-handedly kicks its ass. Therefore, the scene communicates multiple things which were not what the writers could have intended. We learn that Galadriel and Thondir do not show any particular urgency regarding saving the lives of their companions. This would be consistent with what we had learned previously about Galadriel, again, unintentionally, but this scene also tells us that Thondir doesn't particularly care about his men either. Given that immediately following this scene, both Thondir and the other soldiers all mutiny against Galadriel, this doesn't really make much sense. We also see that Galadriel doesn't need any help from anyone, even when doing something as difficult, supposedly, as defeating a troll. This is reinforced repeatedly throughout the series. Galadriel is depicted as a lone wolf who doesn't need anyone. By herself. And the The reason why I do not believe this to be intentional is because a major plot point is that she believes she was sent to Valinor as a result of wanting to ask for more soldiers to continue her quest. She quite clearly does not need more soldiers because they literally accomplish nothing during this entire sequence. Every single discovery or action that occurs during this prologue would have happened in precisely the same way if Galadriel was there entirely on her own. She works everything out and kills the monster all by herself. And yet, she also wants more soldiers and later an entire army from Numenor, which I will get to soon, don't you worry. In the mutiny scene which comes afterwards, what the writers wanted to do was have the heroic Galadriel be abandoned by her cowardly, useless underlings who have conspired to betray her. We know this because the tone of the scene is very dramatic and intense, indicating that what they are doing is wrong. I mean, just listen to this music. What actually happened here, though, is that after following Galadriel for hundreds of years and having their lives repeatedly put at risk seemingly without any consideration from her, they have hit their breaking point and refuse to continue on this insane and baseless quest for vengeance. We later learned that continuing their search would have been against the orders of the High King, and that therefore it was in fact Galadriel who was out of line, but as the audience we do not know this at this point, meaning that, from the perspective of the audience during this mutiny, all of the information we have points to Galadriel being the one at fault, and the mutiny is both reasonable and totally justifiable. Once again.
Yeah, he just told me like an hour ago. Yeah, I peeped that shit too. But I don't know. This shit could be bugging. Cause I know for a fact, the PlayStation tried to take from my card, and it couldn't. But I'm still playing. I'm valid. I don't know. Let's have it. Let's try. Any way to take it. My nigga, you had a fucking pass, bro. blazing outside right now. Yeah. It was hot earlier, I don't know about right now, but it was blazing earlier. my gosh. That shit was tweaking. I thought I was talking the whole time. Yeah, for damn sure. I haven't copped the new one yet. I've been meaning to. But yeah, I'll be on that. I'll be on the show. I'll be fucking with that shit. Oh, word? They're like, what, challenges or some shit? Make some food real quick. That shit happened to me too, bro. I put too much salt one time. That shit came out like salt, mac and cheese, like nasty. Like it was, that shit was disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, facts. And you don't. The crazy thing is that you don't even have to make the pancakes big. You just gotta drop a dot. You feel me? A dollop, and then press the batter so it spreads out, and there you go. That's a slice right there. You feel me?
me in the face.
You paying rated R planes like yours.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Caravan and Garbage, where we're taking a look at some Russell Crowe historically accurate epics.
That's right.
We've named it the Russell Crowe. What is it?
Look, we were going to call it the Rusty Crowe
History Trilogy.
History Trilogy, but then we settled on the Rusty Crowe His Trilogy.
Yeah.
Because in a way, this is his trilogy. He doesn't really do sequels.
No.
His own movies. He's one and done.
I think he's going to pop up in Gladiator 2 in some flashbacks.
I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost.
Mate, I'm a ghost. Afterlife sucks. Boring. It's just wheat.
I mean, my wife and kid are here, but they're boring, you know. My son's all like, oh, let's go for a walk around the weird mist of the afterlife. I'm like, settle down, mate. It's just the weird mist.
Anyways, we're going to be looking at 3 movies. Let's not spoil, let's not get ahead of ourselves in terms of what we're doing, because maybe we're just going to slip in virtuosity.
Oh, we might.
Maybe we will.
We might. I mean, that would be the link between Russell Crowe, who's in Gladiator 1,
Yep.
and Denzel Washington, who's in Gladiator 2.
Exactly.
Because they're both in virtuosity and no other movies.
No other movies. Also, we are going to talk about the original script of Gladiator 2. We'll get into all of that. Please leave a like. This is a great movie, Mason.
I agree.
Obviously, it's not accurate. This guy didn't exist. He's based on a few people of the era.
It's a classic slobs versus snobs.
Oh, boy, is it?
You think initially he's maybe the snob. He's all clean cut and he's got that haircut that George Clooney had in the 90s.
Yeah, man.
But then it turns out he's a slob.
Yeah.
And it's Joaquin Phoenix who's the snob.
He's the big snob.
You know.
I mean, you know that when he rolls in.
And his name is Commodus.
Commodus?
Mr. Fancy Toilet.
Oh, yeah, right.
So you know he's the...
Yeah.
It's a little bit also like, 90s rom-com. Because he's like a good fighter and he's...
Everyone likes him.
Everyone likes him, but then he's a little bit like...
You're saying it's NTV.
I'm saying it's going to be NTV, yes.
Right, yeah. So the original script for this, and Russell Crowe has openly talked about it, it was bad and barely complete, if at all. They had to rewrite a lot of this on the fly. They're finding the movie in the end. It's one of those things where it shouldn't have come together, but it absolutely did. I feel like a lot of movies since then have tried to capture the magic of Gladiator. And, someone...
Like doing it on the day.
Like doing it on the day. No, not even. Just like, there was a brief moment where, like, swords and sandals were back.
I remember, yeah.
Troy, the Kingdom of Heaven, which people like the extended cuts. Virtuosity.
Virtuosity.
All good example.
One of the personalities that Russell Crowe's character probably was Genghis Khan or whatever.
Probably, yeah. Look, speaking of
Virtuosity.
Russell Crowe.
Oh, sure, okay. He is Australia's own New Zealand's Russell Crowe.
That's right. He's so great in this. The versatility of his face.
Virtuosity.
No, the virtuosity of his face and watching him shift emotions. There's a couple of times that it really stood out to me. One in the battle at the start, where he's looking at that bird, you see him just kind of get lost in the moment, and then he's kind of like, then he locks back into to where he is. And the moment later, where Twilitus, he tries to goad him into attacking him, and you see him just like break in his mind, and then just pull himself back together and be like, I will kill you, but not right now.
Right now I'm thinking about a bird. I'm thinking about that bird from earlier, so it all ties in together.
Yeah. This is also big Russell Crowe. I'm not going to say lunatic, but that was the perception of him in the media.
When did he throw that phone?
After this, I think, but it's around this era, definitely.
So that's when throwing a phone meant something.
Yeah, it meant
Like you
something.
can throw a phone now, whatever. It's like being hit in the head by a Mr. Beast Feastables. It's enjoyable.
You could win something.
You can win something, but back then a phone was like, sometimes you needed 2 hands,
Yeah.
and the receiver and the bass bits. Pick that up, you can really hurt someone.
Kill a man with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, famously kind of trouble production, or like them finding the story. There's lines like, I'll let my vengeance in this life for the next. He probably said it would be different than that.
I said it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, but of course, who knows what Roman sounded like back then? Probably like they were from Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney or British guys or whatever. God, we knew what their eyebrows were like. No, we don't. That guy's eyebrows, the announcer?
Yeah.
God, beautiful work. So Russell Crowe said of that line to screenwriter William Nicholson, your lines are garbage. You're not the greatest actor in the world, and I can even make garbage sound good. And also, Nicholson said since then, in my defense, my lines were probably garbage. So, I don't think so. I think he wrote some great lines.
I could have killed Russell Crowe in that moment, but then I thought about a bird, and I didn't.
No. Hugh Jackman was apparently considered. Mel Gibson was offered the role, but he turned it down. He thought at 43 he was too old to play Maximus. Russell Crowe was around 35 at the time, so not that much younger. Also, he'd just done The Insider, so he put on a bunch of weight.
Okay.
Again, based on a real guy just like this, and he had to lose that very quickly to get back to a normal-ish body.
I was going to say, so was this, did he consider this a challenge?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, he's done some body transformations before.
I also-
Sniper, virtuosity.
So true.
Yeah.
I also think maybe, I feel like Russell Crowe secretly has a lot of like goals in life. It's based on like some of his past, his past action. Like for example, when he was Russ the Rock, he had a song called "I Just Want to Be Marlon Brando," and then he became Jor-El in Man of Steel.
Oh my God, he did.
Just like Marlon Brando had. And of course, years prior to this, he had a band called Roman Antics, which became 30 on from the front.
Oh my God.
And then he's become a Roman gladiator. So do you think, damn, this is like, he's making his own prophecies.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
He's making it happen. Damn. What's interesting looking at Russell Crowe's body in this is that he's in good shape.
Yes.
But he's not like insanely ripped as they might do now, though you don't really see that as much in the new one. Paul Mescal seems like, again, in pretty good shape. But he's not getting like that Thor kind of body or Ant-Man or whatever. It's just like, yeah, he's a fetish guy who's got a little bit of weight on him because, you know, he's fighting dudes in the dust. He can't be a skinny abs man, you know?
I agree.
You gotta have some carbs in you, mate. Yes. But it's of course not without injuries over the course of the gladiatorial scenes. Russell Crowe lost all feeling in his right forefingers for 2 years after a sword fight. He aggravated his Achilles tendon.
Achilles.
I know. Broke a foot bone. And he also popped a few bicep tendons out of their sockets. So yeah, there you go. Look, great story also. I know you said slobs versus snobs, but it's also a revenge story, just a guy killing his way to the top. And maybe not killing a bunch of the right people to the top, but he's killing enough people that he has to kill the main guy. And this is a great balance of like, oh shit, this is cool as hell. How many cool moments in this movie. And also, the war is bad. Why are we fighting?
Really makes you think, doesn't it?
It's a mob, you know? They're rallying behind this, but is this good?
Yeah. Actually, they just wanted to really become gladiator.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Bonnie Nielsen's there, she's like, I really want you to become gladiator. It's joking terms.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, let's talk about Joaquin Phoenix, because he's in this. First of all, stop trying to kiss your sister. Not on. I know people probably did it in the era, but I'm against it, Mason. I don't like it.
I mean, they also had a communal toilet sponge. You're all gonna share that, are you?
No, don't do that.
You're gonna method act that. You're gonna method act that hard. I doubt it.
So I actually watched the extended cut of this.
Oh yeah.
I would say the extended cut, it's not better.
Okay.
But there's just more.
That's what an extended cut is, yes.
Yeah. But they do add some things to it, like apparently Commodus is using all the grain in the city to pay for the games. So in like 2 years, everybody's going to start. So there's that element of the uprising also, which is kind of playing in the background.
Okay,
Which
right.
you kind of get the sense that he's not that bad of a leader, but apparently he will start the city eventually, and etc. and so forth. Yeah. So But look, I'll tell you what.
They probably learned from the Phantom Menace. They're probably like, we don't need green tariffs or whatever in this movie. We want head chopping.
Head chopping, man. So Richard Harris is in this.
Correct.
And I'll tell you what, I don't feel bad for Richard Harris in this being murdered by his son. He's a bad guy and he knows it and he deserves to die. So he spent his years warmongering and expanding the Roman Empire. And then as he's dying, he's like, Russell Crowe, fix the Roman Empire for me.
Right.
And Russell Crowe's like, I want to go home. I want to touch all the wheat. My kids and pat them on the head.
Sure,
And
yeah.
all of that, yeah. And just the idea that he's like, you're the son that I wish I had. But it's like, dude, you could never produce a son like Russell Crowe. You have bad sperm, as we can tell from your regular son who sucks, who you neglected.
Yeah.
And maybe he wouldn't be such a bad guy if you like hugged him and taught him how to sword fight or something. I don't know.
The two pillars of parenthood.
Yeah.
Hugging and sword fights.
Exactly. I mean, look at Zorro. He did it. He's the best.
Yeah.
Or his son didn't know. I can't remember. Zorro too, though. It's all right. We looked at the Zorro movies.
We did.
We're talking historical epics.
Pretty all right.
Yeah. Hans Zimmer's score is incredible. It is one of the best-selling movie soundtracks of all time. And you'd be hard-pressed to disagree with that, Mason. When you think about the numbers.
I can't disagree with Colin Fact.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's my
gladiatorial fights? Like, do you feel like
I feel like they were unnecessary. I think they should have talked it out.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They should have talked it out on the field of ideas. Free marketplace of ideas.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah.
No, they're good.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? My favourite, and they're all good, is when they bring back Titus the Claw out of retirement to fight Rusty Crow.
I reckon if they made this now,
They wouldn't have had him do the Nazi salute when he came out, Mason. They thought we wouldn't notice slipping a Nazi salute into a movie, Mason.
I didn't notice.
I don't like
I
it.
was going to say, if they made it today, there'd be a couple of calls that look like asterisks. Right? Just in the background
Yeah,
somewhere, you
absolutely,
know?
yeah.
Just a few out of towners, you know? Little guy with a winged hat.
Oh my god.
Big fat guy.
Big fat guy.
Stripy pants.
Yeah. I just love for that, like the size of the goal, like the inclusion of the tigers and all of that, the way it's planned against Maximus. I love that for the most part they used real tigers, and yeah, they're comped in obviously. But I feel like they would have used like a life of Pi kind of CGI tiger situation for this
They
now.
absolutely would.
And even though again they are using puppets and Muppets and compositing them in, it feels just so much realer, like it's a real thing that's actually happening.
Would you say it feels like a movie that feels like a real movie?
Yeah, I would say it's a real movie, Mason. They did have a veterinarian on set with tranquilizer darts in case, you know, things got out of hand. They had 5 tigers. Do you think they needed 5? I think they could have done with 2.
Even one?
Even 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Several. I reckon one tiger, more cameras.
More cameras.
You know, different angles and such.
Mirrors.
Mirrors, sure.
Mirrors
Yeah.
is fine.
Also, don't tell me there's a vet on set with a tranquilizer gun. Tell me there's a sniper on set with a tranquilizer gun. That's what I want.
Hey, Steph. I'm Morning Star Farms plant-based chicken patty. Want me to cue the birds of the tractor again? That'd be great. Birds! Tractor! There you go. It's good on the farms. Morning Star Farms.
Because vets aren't, I suspect vets aren't really used to having to fire a tranquilizer gun under pressure when a tiger is about to kill a man.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So you want a sniper on set with a real gun? Will that make you feel even better again?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Well, we have a sniper on set when we record these.
We have to.
Just in case either of us gets out of control.
I also loved that fight that, yeah, of course that dude got absolutely fucking rocked. Like, he's been out of the arena for 5 years.
He's just big.
He's just big, man. There weren't a lot of big guys, and he was one of them. Like, you're telling me that this dude was training for 5 years? He absolutely was not.
He's 29.
He's 29, exactly.
He was going to keel over on his own.
Well, look, Mason, speaking of keeling over...
Oliver Reed. You want to talk about Oliver Reed?
Yeah. So 3 weeks before Principal Photography ended, Oliver Reed passed away. He wasn't sure whether he wanted
He's in this movie.
He's in the movie, yeah, that's relevant.
Yeah.
He wasn't even sure if he wanted to do it. And he's like, I don't want to audition or whatever. And a mate of his was like, dude, you're broke. Just go in. You haven't done like a mainstream movie in like over a decade. But because Proxima was a key character, there was a clause in the movie's insurance contract which said they could reshoot all of his scenes, and they would have got about $25 million to do that. But because of like the effort involved in that, Ridley Scott was like, you know what, we'll leave him in, rewrite the script. There's one element in particular they had to change, but towards the end, that's either a body double or like unused footage or repurposed footage to finish him off. But I think he's great. I think he's a really good inclusion in this. Apparently Maximus was supposed to fight Proxima in the Colosseum at one point, which they had to then take out because Proxima, of course, was previously a gladiator, and he yells about it all the time.
Instead, Proxima's like, I'll see you at the pub, Russell Crowe.
But apparently they didn't really get along.
Oh,
Yeah.
I won't see you at the pub, Russell Crowe. We're not friends.
You'd think 2 boozy blokes would get along,
Right?
but sometimes 2 boozy blokes don't get along.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're fighting over the phone they're going to throw in a go.
Mason, here's a section of the show, it's called That's Cool!
Oh,
It's
wow.
It's just one moment where I'm like, that's cool!
Okay, in the movie or just in your life?
No, this is in the movie.
Well, it is in your life in general, but it just happens to be in the movie.
It's in the movie,
This
Mason.
time. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Next week when we do That's Cool, it might just be like a stick you saw that looked like a sword or something, you know?
I'm gonna be on the lookout this week for a stick that I saw that looked like a
Yeah.
sword, Mason.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, look, there's so many incredible action beats in this, but there's one moment, I think it's in the first gladiatorial fight, like one the bigger one, where Rusty Crow gets on a horse and he takes off, and someone like flings him a fucking sword. The way he catches it, it's just so cool and fluid that I remember just going to myself, that's cool.
Sounds cool.
I'm gonna bring that up.
Nice.
So we can put it in the video.
I like when he got the 2 swords each on there.
Yeah, that was good too.
That was cool. Like,
That's cool.
That's cool.
What if I found 2
speech, you can cut a seagull's head off. Cha.
I like also that, they're planning this uprising and it never comes to fruition.
Is this the second thing that's
No, we're out of that. This is the thing in the movie that I like. But it's not particularly.
It doesn't sound, thus far, it doesn't sound that good.
But, they're planning the uprising, he's going to rally his army because he has all the support. And it never comes into fruition. They just put a stop to that. And it comes down to this kind of very satisfying final fight where Maximus is injured and just fucking tripping balls. Like he's in and out of the afterlife.
Yeah.
Fighting this goof. I just think it's really amazing. There's another moment in that I love where after he defeats him and he's in the afterlife and he's touching the wheat and a guy like calls
They're
out.
touching his son.
Touching his son, that's right, appropriately. Top of the head. And like a guy is like, Maximus, what do we do next or whatever? And you see him fucking like snap back to reality for a second. And he's like, okay, yeah, the Senate, whatever, and the result, this and that. And then he's just gone.
Yeah.
And again, it's all portrayed like that performance of just like, you just see him become like lucid. I just think that he's so good at this. And he won an Oscar. He did win an Oscar, even though he's like, we'll talk about this in Glad Trivator. The trivia section of the show. Here we go, this is what I'm talking about. Russell Crowe admitted that he initially felt unworthy of all the praise and the Oscar for Best Actor that he got for this movie. After seeing the completed movie, he thought it was a director's film and the Oscar should have gone to Sir Ridley Scott instead. Because I guess there are, there's incredible performances in this all around, really.
Took the Oscar on that, didn't you, Russell?
Yeah, Russ.
Didn't scratch off Russell Crowe and then Ridley Scott be like, here you go, Best Actor for this. There you go.
Maximus's description of his home, specifically how the kitchen is arranged and smells in the morning and at night, was ad-libbed. Actually, a description of Russell Crowe's own home in Australia, which is where he's from now.
Because it's... That's right. And there's Vegemite.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
There's Vegemite at the counter and wheat mix.
Yeah.
It's the wheat. It's two brews we're battling along. That's right. Up and away's on the telly.
Yeah, man.
Hills Hoist. There's a Hills Hoist next to the City Opera House.
Oh my god, this is Stop Jump Wow. Famous Australian invention. God, I love road. Also, this initially had, and they took it out, Roman gladiators doing product endorsements for olive oil and, I don't know, parchment.
Doesn't seem too modern, I guess.
Yeah, but it's real. They used to do that. And I think, that was a it's not that really that kind of shit like that. I like the nice style. Box office went right to $103 million, which was actually no secret that the 2000 was Y2K, if you recall. That's right. Its return was $465.4 million. Big hit, which of course is why we're getting a sequel, but it wasn't the first proposed sequel. So Russell Crowe apparently offered the writing job to Nick Cave, famous Australian musician, and of course he wrote the proposition.
Is it Nick Cave in the band?
He is!
What a odd coincidence.
I agree. Nick Cave said, did you die in Gladiator 1? And Russell Crowe said, yeah, you sorted that out. So here's what it says on Wikipedia about the sequel. Nick Cave was commissioned to write a new draft of the script and it was later revealed to be written under the working title of Christ Killer.
And so this was already getting it. I wanted to call it Christ Killer.
Cave described the plot as a deity versus humanity story. The premise involved Maximus in purgatory, who was resurrected as an immortal eternal warrior for the Roman gods. In the draft, Maximus is sent to Earth and tasked with stopping the momentum of Christianity by killing Jesus Christ and his disciples, as their movement was gradually siphoning off the power and vitality of the ancient pagan gods. Well, it's very God of War as well.
It's very God of War and it introduces a lot of kind of interesting and possibly unnecessary mechanics about God power scaling and
absolutely
how the power of prayer
saps the energy of others.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man. This is just like Clash of the Titans or Wrath of the Titans.
Absolutely.
That way. So during his mission, Maximus is tricked into murdering his own son. The script also included Maximus fighting amongst the Crusades, World War II, and the Vietnam War, with the ending revealing that in the modern day time period, he now works for the Pentagon. Wow, that's history for you.
And some of that, of course, was repurposed into X-Men Origins War.
Yeah, it seems that way, yeah. Well, look, here's the thing, though. I was like, isn't this set after Jesus? And it is. Gladiator is set 180 AD. So this killing Jesus thing that's on Wikipedia, it's not true. It does deal with the rise of Christianity and how that is siphoning power away from the gods of old.
Maybe they don't mean literally killing Jesus.
That's what it said on Wikipedia. Someone should change this, not me. Years later, Nick Cave said...
Someone's going to change it, you're going to look quite different. later we're getting comments in 10 years that are like, oh, it actually doesn't say that on Wikipedia, the online encyclopedia that anyone can edit.
Well, look, I want somebody to be extra vigilant and make sure it stays as it originally was then. Alright, don't make me look like a fool. Nick Cave said years later, I enjoyed
I
writing.
was just joking.
I said, oh, pretty much. I enjoyed writing the script very much because I knew on every level that it was never going to get made.
Right.
And that is true. So yeah, we are of course getting Gladiator 2. And I love Russell Crowe's opinion on the making of that movie. Is a clip of him just being sick of it.
Gladiator 2. I mean, they should be fucking paying me for the amount of questions I've had to answer about the fucking film that I'm not even in. I'm dead. I don't know anything about the plot. Why would I? Because I'm dead.
I mean, yeah, look, next week we're going to come back. We're going to look at another movie in the Rusty Crowe, his trilogy. Here's a hint towards what it is. So yeah, if you do want to see that earlier, you can actually head over to bigsandwich.co, which is like our private Patreon. It helps keep all of this ad-free. Not YouTube ads, I'm talking about outside sponsorships. Your mattresses and your prime drinks and whatever.
Oh yeah,
You know?
Not festivals though, I snuck that in.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
You love good food.
Yeah, I love good food, but that's unrelated to the free
Okay.
sex.
You love food that's also a product and gambling.
Absolutely, I do.
Yeah, we also do a bunch of other stuff there. We do movie commentaries, we do video game let's plays, we do bonus podcasts. We of course also have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk